All right, here are quiz solutions for Math 60, this first quiz. What we're given in the first problem, there's two of them, is we're asked to translate these into equations and use x as the variable. So you got a bunch of a mess here in English that we want to write mathematically, I suppose. And when you're translating these, there's a few things you want to look for. I always start looking for the equals sign. If there is one, there is in both of these cases. The word is the same as equals. So the quotient of a number and 7 is kind of a key thing. It's going to be my equal sign. 3 less than the product of that number and 7. Okay. And now we've kind of broken one long sentence up into two parts. On the left here, I got the quotient of a number. So let's see if I can. The quotient of means something divided by something. So you can either write it as a fraction or with this division sign, however you want to do it. So the quotient of is kind of telling me that the next two things are going to get divided. A number doesn't specify the number. That means it's my variable. So it's going to be this x here and 7. So on the left, I got x divided by 7. Is 3 less than, so maybe I'll switch over to green. When you see less than, you're thinking subtract. And 3 less than, kind of tricky here. It means something, maybe I'll leave lots of room, minus 3. So the order is a little bit weird. When we say 3 less than something, like if I'm 10 years old, why would I be 10? If I'm, 34 years old, and I said your age was 3 less than my age, we say that your age is 34 minus 3. The minus 3 comes at the end. I don't know if that age example made that any easier. Anyways, 3 less than means something minus 3. What is that something? Well, that's what it's giving us here when it says, I guess I'm back to red, the product of. So that means it's going to be something times something that goes right here. So this kind of jumps over here, and this less than kind of goes over here. So that's a little tricky, if you ask me. So the product of what? The next two things it's going to tell me are what I should multiply. That number, oh right, that's x, and 7. X times 7. There you go. So this is the final answer right here. That'll work. If you want, you can write it differently. You could say x divided by 7 equals maybe 7x minus 3. Something like that. However you want to write it is totally fine. Any of those are the answer. Either one works totally fine. Let's repeat that procedure down here. Let's look for the equal sign. 5 more than a number is, keyword, equals. Now we've broken up it into two sides. Left side, 5 more than. That means I want to add 5. To what do I want to add 5? Twice a number. So a number will be my variable. We'll call that x. But I don't want x. I want twice x. So I'll put 2x, 2 times x, or just 2x, however you want to write it. The difference between tells me that I'm going to be subtracting something minus something. Difference means subtract. And what am I subtracting? Well, let's see. That number and 2. I don't know if all these arrows are at all helpful, but I've gone this far. So the second one translates like this. If you wanted to write it kind of smaller, I guess that's all I'm doing is writing it smaller. I'm writing the exact same thing this time. So maybe I won't even bother. Good enough. That's the answer. All right. I think number 1 is the hardest part of this quiz, personally. Down here, determine if x equals 4 is a solution to the following equation. So what we got to do there is everywhere you see an x, change it into a 4. And the question is, are these really equal? Well, let's see. 4 divided by 2 is just 2. So what it wants to know is 2 plus 4 the same as 2 times 4, which is 8, minus 2? We'll see 2 plus 4 is 6. 8 minus 2 is 6. Nice. Determine if this is a solution. Yes, it is a solution. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Next one. Oh, this one. I thought I was funny, I think, here, just making everything 4s, although it's kind of obnoxious when I look at it. Evaluate the expression below. Okay. When x equals 4. So note that we don't have an equation here. We're just asked to evaluate the expression. In other words, change the x into a 4. So 4 plus 4 divided by 4 minus 4. Change the x into a 4 and figure out what this thing is equal to. You have to be a little bit careful here. You have to remember your order of operations. So I better make sure to tell you in class that you're going to have to remember your order of operations. It's tempting to do 4 plus 4 first, or 4 minus 4 or something, but you don't. You do multiplication and division before you do addition and subtraction. So really what we do is we say 4 divided by 4 is just 1. So really our expression simplifies to this. 4 plus 1 is 5, minus 4 is just 1. So we say that equals that, which equals that. So our final answer, I guess you'd say 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 minus 4 is just 1. Our final answer is just 1. When you evaluate this expression, you get 1. So that's the answer to this problem or question. And that's the end of this quiz.